You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey Slayers, welcome back to another episode of Slaying Self-Doubt Podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. Welcome to all the new Slayers joining our movement. Whether you found me by way of a solo episode, guest episode, social media, YouTube, Google, it doesn't matter. I just want to thank you all for being here. While you're listening to this episode, if there's anything that resonates with you, we ask that you please share with at least 10 people to help us hit our goal of 100,000 downloads. And then subscribe to our YouTube page. While we're here, we just want to go ahead and get all the love that we can, right? So we're back in this 4-part series of me closing out this podcast. I know, which sounds weird than what I just said earlier, right? I'm having a moment right now because I'm trying to think when I recorded the first episode, and I don't know, it's probably was like a month ago. And I had every intention on like trying to get these out the way by it's now October, in September. And it just life was happening, but I also think that there's a bit of grief attached to this, right? Having to do this and knowing this is going to be the end of what this looks like is uncomfortable for me. Like, I know that God is calling me to something greater. He's calling me to do something else. But sometimes letting go of the thing that has been the comfort and been the thing that you've been doing and somehow have been known for and all of those things is just, it's uncomfortable. So I will say that. But the last episode, I shared pretty much how the podcast started and those type of things, just like what it was like in the beginning and kind of getting the courage to do these things. And as you can see, some of those things still show up. So if you didn't listen to episode 297, go back and listen to 297, and 298 will make so much more sense. But today I want to pull back the curtain and just tell you about some things that y'all didn't see, right? Some stuff I shared, some stuff I didn't share, out of lots of different things, guilt, shame, pride. It wasn't your business. Like, it don't matter what it was, but I feel like that there are lessons in everything. And, you know, God has given me a very, very special opportunity to be able to use my voice and my platform to be able to share the things that some people are probably secretly dealing with. So although in that moment, it may not have felt like it was necessary for me to share. Some of it was, some of it wasn't. I feel like now, as we're coming to an end and we're closing out this chapter, that it's necessary to share these things. Okay, so the first part I would say is just being a podcaster, right? So like the work that the work that it takes to do this, along with being a mom and a wife, an employee, trying to figure out when to record, when to publish, when to edit, when to promote. You know, you got to figure out all the things, right? If anybody ever says that entrepreneurship is easy or is light work, they lying to you. I'm telling you, if anybody makes it seem like it's nothing or it doesn't require work, they're swelling. I can guarantee you that. What I will say is that God gave me the energy, the tenacity, and the energy, I'll use that word again, to do what I needed to do in the seasons I needed to do it, right? When I first started the podcast, like I said, my kids were young and they were in activities, but it brought me so much joy to be able to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go and share this, right? It was very much so in the very beginnings. If you listen to the earlier episodes, I would say like the first, I don't know, maybe like first 6 months or so. It was very just like wingedy. Like I even to this day, I say I'm a great wingeter. But it was just kind of like whatever's on my heart, I was just going to go and share. It's almost like Dear Diary is what I feel like. Like there was some structure, but it wasn't a whole lot. Right. And so, the balance of doing it all was like there would be moments where I would know I wanted to talk about something and I'd be in the car, right? I can't stop what I'm doing to just do it. It's like I had to wait until all the other things were done. My other responsibilities were done to be able to record. And sometimes that meant saying, hey, I need to do this, so I can't watch this show with you. Or I can't help you do this. Other times it was like literally doing it when um it's the last thing to do on my list. So like when my in my previous job, I was literally like recording um like at the bottom of my bed, folding clothes. Like I just want you to picture, like it's stuff that I'm doing. I say, oh, okay, I need to make an episode this week. Let me go get my ironing board, put the ironing board in, record this episode, and I would just record, right? And then once I left my job, it became more of work, right? And so then it became everything that I did. Like it was way more structured. I felt like I had a better flow of just like how I can manage it. But then all I did was increase it. There was a period of time that you all were getting 8 episodes a month. Okay. I was doing 4 solo episodes and then 4 interviews. Do you know how much work that takes? I've never, not once, hired anybody to help me. So I was editing every single one of those. And eventually, like, it got to the point where the editing wasn't editing as much. Like in the beginning, I would literally edit out all the the pregnant pauses, the ands, the like, because I say like a lot. I would edit all of that stuff out, and it would take me. It could take me 30 minutes to record, but it would take me 2 hours to edit. And I got to a point where I just was like, okay, what's more important, publishing this thing and getting it out, or sitting here trying to, and if you've ever had to edit a podcast, this is before all AI came and they was chopping and screwing stuff up so you could be able to just like figure it out. No, ma'am. Like I was literally in there putting the lines together, like click, cut, put that, delete. And the crazy part about it is that I actually learned how to edit on accident. I ended up pressing the mouse one day and I was like, oh, that's how you move that. Oh, that's how it. I didn't know. Like our YouTube University was very much so a help, but I really was figuring it all out on my own. And one of the things that I feel like that was the blessing behind all of that was that I was able to get to a place that when people needed help, I knew exactly how to help them because I had done it all. I've been the engineer, the producer, the audio person, the video person, you know, all all of those things. And so it allowed me to be able to know the job inside and out. And so I definitely was grateful for it, but it did take a lot of work. And so that's why when we get to this season, right, and I know what it takes, I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, you're not really making no business money in your business to pay somebody to do this stuff, but you also do not have the capacity to keep doing it. And that was a hard place, right? We talk like as we're talking about this closing this era out, it's a hard thing to be able to say, like, I do not have the capacity to do this anymore. And it really was like, it's not like I don't have nothing else to say. I just don't have the capacity to edit and make sure that it's like I just told y'all about editing. Okay. The other part was the social media portion of advertisement and the way it fluctuated over the years of you gotta post 3 times a day. And then you can't just use when it was just pictures. Then it went to reels, then it went to videos, then you gotta go live. It was so much. And I remember always just kind of being like, why I don't understand why I gotta do all this. Why I can't just be me? Why I can't just get on when I feel like getting on? If I have something to say, I will. If I don't got nothing to say, I don't. But it's like, you know, again going to these courses and watching people on social media and seeing the fruits of their labor, right? But not understanding, bro, y'all really are making it seem like you made 6 figures by just getting on Canva, putting something out there, creating something, and then putting it on your website, and the people was buying it. Why you don't do that? It takes work, and I'm grateful for the work, and also it was a lot. it was a lot of work. And so when I would talk to people and they would say, dang, you doing all of that? And I'd be like, yeah, at the time it made sense. This was my only job, right? I got to do this. So I wasn't going to shortcut myself. But as the seasons changed again and things went differently, I had to take inventory and stock of my energy and was like, I ain't got it to give to put into this. And that's okay. Um, and that's okay. So I don't even want to move past that. Like that hit me in my spirit. That's okay if that season of your life is over. I want you to know whatever that is. I don't know what it is for you, but if whatever you were doing no longer serves you in this season, that is okay. It's okay. And if nobody's ever told you, I'm telling you now. The lessons, man, so many lessons. I'm thinking about like my perfectionism. I'm thinking about like what I wanted it to be versus what it was. Um, so many different lessons. Okay, so let's start with perfectionism. First of all, I didn't think that I was a perfectionist. So let's start there. Okay. Until I started doing the podcast and realized how anal I was about stuff, the way it needed to look, how it needed to sound. Now, we know that, with the Bell's palsy, I was very particular about how I showed up because of my face or whatever have you. But in the beginning, you weren't seeing my face because it was just all audio, right? But I still was very much so like, I don't like the way that sounds. It's got to sound like this. It's got to look like this. Just being, how you see people that just post stuff no matter what. I'm talking about they house be toe up from the flow up, and they be like, watch me make dinner for my 5 kids. And I literally be like, so you just not gonna wipe off the counter? Or your screen, like you just gonna cook and then you did this, you're not even live, you recorded this, looked at it, and then said, yep, this is good to post. Meanwhile, I'm going to do the thing 87 million thousand times. In the beginning, the way I used to record an episode, listen back to it and be like, this doesn't sound authentic enough, delete. And then I would go, mind you guys, I don't write a script. I told you I'm a wing it, right? So then sometimes I don't even know what I said because I just said it, right? And sometimes I had notes. Sometimes I didn't have notes. So then it would be like, okay, you can't keep doing that, right? But because I just wanted it to be so perfect because my thought process was on the outcome of like making this an amazing podcast and being in the top 100 and wanting everybody to hear it, right? And I am still learning to this day what the purpose of that season was. Some of it was practice, I know for sure, being able to use my voice, being on screen, like I know some of it was practice. I do know some of it was impacted, the impact that I made during that time. I know it was to do the things that God called me to do in that moment. But I still feel like I ain't gonna get it till I get it. And once I get it, I'll know. But right now, again, it was that I was so focused on the wrong things, right? Like I wasn't even focused on being obedient. Not every time. I'm like, I'm no, that's a lie. I feel like there were moments where I knew like this assignment was an obedience and I was trusting God with the outcome. And then there would be other times that I wasn't, right? A part of whenever anybody comes to me and say, I see you had a podcast, you've done great, blah, blah, blah. To me, I'll be like, no, it's not. Right. I still want to hit 100,000 downloads. Right. I still want, there's things that I feel like I want or whatever have you that I have goals that I wanted to attain that I did not attain. Some of that has to do with me. Like I didn't attain it because, girl, you quit like 18 times while you was doing this, or, there was lack of discipline, a lack of consistency. And I can see now that a part of my procrastination led that perfectionism led to procrastination. I know that doesn't make sense, but it was like if I couldn't get it perfect, I just wasn't going to do it. If I couldn't figure out how to make it right, then I just avoided it altogether, right? But then that created inconsistency and a lack of discipline. And so it's interesting as I was, you know, figuring out what I was going to talk about, and I put some stuff in chat just to see. And the thing that came up literally says consistency over perfection, learning discipline, and trusting God with each episode. And I was just like, I don't know if I ever got disciplined. Like I think I'm still learning, right? I think I was in a place where I was doing it because I knew I had to, because I girl, you don't have no job, right? Um, and I would say that consistency over perfection. I feel like I kind of did that, but I still was like this. I think that it will never be one thing versus the other, right? And I think that for me, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm always like right in the middle. I'm not gonna say that I definitely am better than where I started, but that is the one thing when people come to me and they say I want to start a podcast, and I say that listen, do you have the capacity? Do you have the time? If you're not gonna be consistent, if you're not gonna have the discipline to get it done, I'm telling you right now, it it's going to be harder. Like that part is going to be difficult because what your listeners want is consistency. Y'all, I know that y'all didn't want me gone since whenever the last time I recorded. Like, I know that. Like, you want to. I listen to podcasts, and when Bama's be missing, I be like, well, where they at? Are they coming back? Same thing, like with my shows. Like, I watch a show. If I ain't seen it, I'm like, hold on, let me look it up. Did that show get canceled? There's no. We don't have no canceled list of podcasts. You can't look to see because we actually control it. But I understand that you have to be willing to be consistent. That could look like a myriad of things, but it's a big thing. It's consistency. It's a big thing to need to be present, right? And so yeah, my hope and my prayer is that whatever the next thing is that God gives me, that I have learned to be disciplined and that I will pick consistency over perfection. Trusting God with each episode, I was doing that from the beginning because I had no idea what I was doing. So because I had no idea what I was doing, I don't know, I leaned into that. Just like, I don't know why I'm here. It's plenty of episodes where I've been like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say, but I feel like this is what God's put on my heart. And by the end of me talking it through, I'll be like, okay, that was the reason why. That's the reason why God told me to record this. That's the reason why God told me to do this. And yeah, I just trusted it reached the people it was supposed to reach. And I feel like it did, and it has. It has made the impact it was supposed to make. I still get overjoyed when I see people, like if I see people that I've met over the years or have come in contact with, and they'll do something, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, congratulations. And they'll be like, Felicia, I was slaying myself out the entire time. Like, I just be like, oh, like that, you know what I mean? Like, that is there, right? And I know other people who have like, I know for me, and I don't know if she realizes it, but Summer Theodore, who is the owner and creator of Jesus Be Knowing, whenever I say that, like I immediately think of her. Jesus Be Knowing, right? That's her brand, that's her tagline. And so when things happen, I say that, I think of her. So when people say that, it does make me feel warm inside. Like when they're like, I'm out here slaying myself down. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Okay. And so I think that through that and through this whole time, there has been a lot of growth. Um, we about to be at 300 episodes. There are guests that I don't think I would have ever thought I would have talked to, right? Like, and I'm talking about there's some people that I'm like, how they find me? Like, how you find me? You know what I mean? And I know that there it's a God thing, and or it's people that I've reached out to and I wanted to get connected with, and they got connected with me, right? And so there's a part of me that's grateful that there are women who shared their stories and their testimonies that will forever be connected to the Slaying Self Doubt podcast, and I am grateful, right? Just not knowing the impact it was going to make. And I, just was out here like, hey, pitching myself. Like that was hard. Pitching was hard to ask people to do something for you, knowing, especially with this, like you ain't really, I don't want to say you ain't getting nothing. There's no return on your investment. But for real, like all you doing is talking. Some people don't mind it. But I think when I think back to it, like it's like Okay, so I'm gonna tell you one person that I really was like, what now? Okay, so I did when I first started. When I first left my job, and I was really trying to. So I guess two people, three people. First left my job. Look, I just added. I first left my job, and I was into this whole thing of people like courses you can take them. So there's one course called 1K One Day. And friend of mine was like, I joined it, you should do it with me, whatever have you. And I was like, okay, I don't, never heard of this lady. Like at that moment, I'd never heard of her. And I was just like, okay, I did kind of some research on who she was and all this stuff. I was like, oh wow, this is really, really cool. So it was the Nicole Waters. And I'm doing the podcast, whatever have you, blah, blah, blah. And so this is pre-COVID. And so we're going through this thing. And I think the course was maybe, I started in September, so maybe it's like 3 months because I feel like we started in like September or something like that. And then it was like the last day was my birthday and I was out of town. So I didn't go to the last meeting. It was all virtual. Um, and so as time kind of went on, we were in these groups and, it's still kind of connected and you're asking questions and people working with you or whatever have you. And then COVID hits. COVID hits and life is different for everybody. And so I'm talking to one of the friends that I met and I was like, I'm a pitcher. I mean, at the end of the day, we all at home. Like she ain't traveling because everything closed, right? And so, some of us was like, what's the worst she could say is no, right? And so I pitched her and she said yeah. And she came on and she blessed me so much with that episode. Again, a lady that I had never like prior, I don't know, maybe 6 months prior to that, never even heard the lady's name a day of my life. And to know her following and the number of people that she has impacted in her lifetime and what she's done, what? Okay. Then fast forward a couple of years later, and I'm pitching people in the area, pitching people I've known places, and like sometimes people would pitch me and be like, "Hey, this person." So I get this thing, and I'm like, emails like, I got whoever the person was like, this person wants to come on their podcast and they want to talk to you, and I'm like, okay, and so I'm looking at the name, and I'm like, I know this name from somewhere. It's really not clicking. Like it's not. And so me being me. So y'all, sometimes I looked at people and sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I would pray about it and be like, Lord, is this a person I was, and if it was like I wasn't. Thanks for coming out. God bless and good night. And other people, I was like, oh, I'd be honored, right? So it was like in my spirit, like the spirit, yes, you want to do. And I was just like, okay. Now the thing was is that like the lady came with like some stipulations, like so I would normally do like 45 minutes to an hour, and they was like, you got 30 minutes, and I'm like, first of all, in my mind, I'm saying, I was like, how you gonna come on my show and only give me 30 minutes? What now? And so like this is after the information back. And so then I look at like the correspondences. My words are escaping me right now. Sorry, people. And so I look and I say, let me look this lady up because now, ma'am, what 30 minutes? And so I'm like, that's not even how you doing. Okay, but okay, fine. So I look her up and I said, I got this lady's book. It was Dr. Cindy Trim. Now, when they sent it to me, it said her name. I knew it, but I ain't know it, right? So it was like, so I'm looking this up. I'm like, this lady is an international speaker, minister. Like, what the? You found me? You can't. When I tell you the lady came on, I interviewed her in 30 minutes. I literally, that probably was one of it was a really really good interview. Number one. Number two, it was one of the things where it was like spotlights on girl go, and I was like it challenged me in so many ways because I knew I only had 30 minutes, and it was an amazing interview. The last one, the final one, is Shalita Grant. So again, somebody else reached out to me, and I was like, I know this name, like, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is this Percy from NCIS? I New Orleans. Like, what is happening right now? So I'm looking and like, oh, she has her own hair care company. And we had a pre-conversation and then a conversation like when we finally did the interview. And it was just like it had like so many things that just have happened. But that was one of the moments where it was just like, dang, like literally this could take you places. This could take you wherever you will want to go or whatever have you. But it was really like I went from thinking nobody was going to listen, right, to having three, I would say celebrities, right, and at a minimum, because I now I'm thinking about somebody else, and you know, another like a three well-known people, women who have made impacts in this world and continue to make impact, and they are forever connected to my podcast. Like that's not a little thing, right? And so I think sometimes when you think about your yes and what it is that God would have for you and what it is that you're supposed to be doing and whether or not it's going to make a difference, I think that we don't know until later, right? I literally just said, I have no idea what the impact is, but just even sharing those three people right there was just like, bro, who would have thought? Like, I would not, this the same girl who was recording in her basement and in her closet on a little TV stand. Like, this is the same person who literally would just take an idea or thought that God would give her and create a whole episode. And I'm grateful. I am forever grateful for all the lessons that I learned, good and bad, right? Because, it's really everything wasn't all good, right? Everything wasn't some weeks my episode did womp. Okay. Sometimes I ain't have it to give. And I like literally was just like nothing. The times that I silently quit, right? And I'm not doing this. And then God just continued to prompt me and continue to push me. There are opportunities that I was able to do. I, got to go speak on stages or have my own one time event that people keep saying like you need to have something else, and I'm just like yeah, but I even think even in that moment like that was something I could not have explained. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen, but there was a young lady who came who her friend invited her, and she came and she was actually late. She was late, and we got to talking in the group, all of us having a conversation, and through that conversation, she said something that was on her heart. The women rallied around her, and like not even a year later, she birthed this book that she said she was holding on to, and she was just like, if it wasn't for that event, like God, what? I never met this lady a day in my life. It was somebody else that was there that I hadn't met ever. She was just like, I saw the event and decided to show up. And I'm like, okay. And we're friends to this day. And she coordinated or collaborated with somebody there, and they're doing business together. Like sometimes your yes isn't about you. And I'm realizing that some of it was about me, but some of it wasn't about me, right? And when it's not about you, you don't have to know the ins and outs. You don't have to know the things. But when people come, it's like, yeah, we met at your event. And I'll be like, oh, okay, like that was like 4 years ago, but happy for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if the Lord used me, let him use you, right? But yeah, so I think that there were lots of lessons that I learned, and I take that into what I'm doing now. When I go to, I might have shared, maybe I didn't at the last time. I don't know, but at my job, I have volunteered to do on camera hosting for our Anywhere campus, and it's pushing me because I can't delete. I have to do it at the direction of somebody else. I can't go back. Like you get one take, that's it. We're live, go, right? But I feel like this season built me for that. And so there are times where some other people that I'm kind of shadowing with and they're there and we'll do something and they'll be like, okay, y'all do this. And they'll be like, man, you did that so good. And I'll be like, no. Like it's trash. Like it's trash to me. And my pastor is currently in a sermon talking about the pathway to success and just how the thing that you are gifted at on your worst day you will do at 8, and people will think you blew it out the water, but you will not. And the day you do it 10, that's when you want. Like, I know the days I'm at a 10 on here. I know the days that when I record something and I'll be like, that was it. I know it. There are other days where I'll be like, we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know. Like, whatever God is positioning me for, I'm ready. And I know I got to do the work, and I know that this is a part of it. Like I said last week or last time, I didn't want to just leave and just roll out, because I've been silently quitting throughout this entire time. But I wanted to honor what I started by bowing out gracefully and never burning a bridge. I said that the last time. I don't burn no bridges, okay? And so all in all, podcasting was more than hitting a record, getting a whole bunch of downloads, although that is what I wanted. Ultimately, it grew my faith. It grew my courage and my bravery. It's nothing for me now to get on video and just hop on something and talk to a whole bunch of people and host and facilitate conversations. Where before it scared the living Jesus out of me. And now I'm just like, this nothing. That's like work. That's fine. I got it. Don't worry about it. And there's a little extra pressure when it's your job and your boss is there and you got to represent well. But ultimately, I feel like I know that I have it because I did this. This was preparation for that, right? And so I would have it for you. Like, my encouragement really would be, what is God preparing you for? Like, what is God preparing for you? Or what has he already prepared you for, right? Sometimes we don't realize the seasons that we're in, that is preparation for something else. When you're in it, it don't make sense. I literally just said, I have no idea. But now I get to the end of this episode and realize the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast was preparation for my next. I don't know where the next is taking me. I don't know fully what it's going to be, but it built my courage. It built my confidence. It built my bravery. It built my transparency and vulnerability. It built an openness in me that I did not have before. And I'm grateful every single day that I had the opportunity to be able to do this, to connect with the community, to create my own brand, and to use my voice, right? And so, while you guys were listening to the final product and the finished product, God was working on me every single week, every single episode, every single edit and change and transformation. And every time I silently quit or loudly quit or whatever, he was there with me the whole time. And so, yeah, I'm grateful for that. And, the next time you'll hear me, we're actually going to talk about when and why I knew it was time to let go. I kind of have mentioned it or maybe said something, kind of told it, but we'll talk about having to actually let go and this whole process right here the next time. You've heard my story. And so now I want to hear y'all's. I gave you a call to action last time, and I want to give you a call to action again. I want to know how this podcast has helped you slay your self-doubt in your own life. I want you to send me a DM or an email. And don't forget, the journey doesn't stop here. Make sure you're connected in YouTube, where I will continue conversations in a new way. We don't know what it's going to look like. However, I do know that is the next step. So as always, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Please share this episode with at least 10 people. We're trying to still hit 100,000 downloads by the end of this year. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Slaying Self-Doubt. Until next time, keep slaying, sis. See ya. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self-Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.